Hi, thanks for joining. I'm Amanda Bowman, Associate Principal Consultant with DCI, and just wanted to give another update on the EEO-1 Component 2 filing. As if you've been following along, we've provided some updates over the last few weeks and mentioned that various forms of information are posted and will continue to be posted by EEOC and their vendor NORC. And so one of those big things is the FAQs, and we chatted about a few FAQs last week, so if you missed that, feel free to go look that up. But we have some hot off the press FAQs that July 23rd, there was 3 new sections that were added to the FAQs. So those sections were covering mergers and acquisitions, spin-offs, and then PEOs. And there's about 16 questions covering those 3 sections. And mergers and acquisitions was something I was actually hoping NORC would come out with information for. So they overall were really helpful FAQs, and my takeaway in general was that they are very employer-friendly. So for example, we're not going to go over all 16 of the questions, but just a couple of examples from what I found useful in the mergers and acquisitions specifically. They did address that, let's say a company acquired another entity in, let's say, late 2017, so it was after that entity's filing, or in early 2018, address, who files that 2017 data for the acquired location. And so essentially the FAQs say that the new parent company is responsible for both the 2017 filings getting done as well as the 2018 filings once that company was fully acquired. However, going back to the employer-friendly part, there are caveats to say, depending upon what information you have access to for 2017 specifically, that may impact what you can file, or they ask that you provide a note in the comments section. So again, they're acknowledging maybe some limitations to data access and do address that. Another really helpful example that goes along those lines is, for that same example, let's say you acquired a company, and actually their FAQ gives an example of the acquisition happening August of 2018. It says for the 2018 filing, are you supposed to be pulling 2 sets of W-2 data from the old system, the new system, same thing with hours worked, and marrying them together, or how do you address that? So the FAQ goes on to say that you don't have to do that combination. You could just be filing for what you have access to from August through the end of the year, and they just ask that you be consistent, so that if you're pulling W-2 data from August through the end of the year after the acquisition, you do the same thing for hours. But if you have access to that earlier information, you could make the choice to file for the entire year, but just be consistent with the hours information as well. So I found that to be really useful. Hopefully everyone else does as well. And again, there's another 14 questions on there. So stay tuned. I will mention that with these new FAQs, NORC did not send out any notifications or label anything as new. So I would just again recommend that you're periodically checking the website or following along with DCI as we alert you to those new FAQs and other guidance documents. Otherwise, thanks for joining, and reach out with any questions.